Morphological. 2. Similarities in bone structure. 3. Paleontological. 4. Embryological. 2. Read the following statements and justify same in your own words with the help of suitable examples. A. Human evolution began approximately 7 crore years ago. ANS. 1. Approximately 7 crore years ago the Ice Age began on the Earth. In such condition, dinosaurs became extinct. The evolution and diversity of mammals started during this time. Due to changes in climate, the forest cover also declined rapidly. 2. Ancestors of monkey-like animals were lemur-like animals which evolved during this period. 3. The tails of these monkey-like animal creatures started vanishing very gradually around 4 crore years ago. 4. The body and brain both increased in volume, forming first ape-like animals. The monkey-like ancestors gave rise to 2 evolutionary links to apes and human-like animals. 5. Later, the human evolution took place by changes in the brain volume, the ability to walk upright, excessive use of hand for manipulation. 6. This journey of human evolution began 7 crore years ago. But the true wise and intelligent man arose around 50,000 years ago. B. Geographical and reproductive isolation of organism gradually leads to speciation. ANS. Sad face 1. Every survives in specific geographical conditions. The requirements of food and habitat is specific for each species. Their reproductive ability and period is also different. 2. Therefore, the individuals from one species cannot reproduce with individuals from other species. 3. When they are separated by a distance or geographical barriers, they are said to be isolated geographically. 4. When they cannot reproduce with each other, they are said to be isolated reproductively. 5. The ancestor species of both these subspecies may be the same, but due to isolation over a very long time duration, there is genetic variation between the two. Therefore, the isolation leads to speciation. C. Study of fossils is an important aspect of study of evolution. ANS. 1. Fossils offer paleontological evidences for the evolutionary process. 2. Due to some natural calamities, the organisms get buried due to ancient times. 3. The impression and remnants of such organisms remain preserved underground. The hot lava also traps some organisms or their impressions. All such formation form fossils. 4. Study of fossils help to researcher to understand the characteristics of the organisms that existed in the past. 5. Carbon dating method also helps in finding out exact age of the fossil. According to the structure of Earth (S) crust, the fossils are obtained at the specific depths. 6. The oldest one are obtained at the depth, while the relatively recent ones occupy the upper surface. Thus fossils of invertebrates were seen in very old Paleozoic era. Later were seen fossils of Pisces, amphibia and reptilia. The Mesozoic era was dominated reptiles, while Coenzoic era showed presence of mammals. 7. In this way, study of fossils unfold the evolutionary secrets. D. There is evidence of fatal science among chordates. ANS. 1. Very young embryos of fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds and mammals show quite similar structure in the early stages. 2. As the further growth takes place, they acquire different patterns. 3. The initial similarity between the vertebrate embryos is an evidence that during evolution, there was a common ancestor for all the vertebrate classes. 4. This is called embryological evidence for vertebrate evolution. 3. Complete the statements by choosing correct options from bracket. Gene, mutation, translocation, transcription, gradual development, appendix. ANS. The causality behind the sudden changes was understood due to mutation principle of Hugo de Varies. B. The proof for the fact that protein synthesis occurs through gene was given by George Beadles and Edward Tatum. C. Transfer of information from molecule of DNA to mRNA is called as transcription process. D. Evolution means gradual development. E. Vestigial organ appendix present in human body is proof of evolution. 4. Write short notes based upon the information known to you. A. Lamarckism. ANS. 1. Lamarckism consists of two theories which were proposed by Jean-Baptiste Lamarck. These are follows. A. Use and disuse of the organs. B. Inheritance of acquired characters. 2. In theory of use and disuse of organ. Lamarck says, the characters of organs develop because specific activities that the organism perform. If such organ is not used, it gets degenerated. Thus the morphological changes take place due to activities or inactivity of particular organism. 3. To emphasize this theory, he quoted following examples. Due to constant extension of neck to eat foliage form the top of the trees, giraffe (s) neck became too long. Similarly, blacksmith has strong arms due to constant work. Flightless ostrich and emu did not fly and hence their wings became useless. Aquatic birds like swan and duck made their feet suitable for swimming by living in water. Snake lost their limbs as it tried burrowing mode. 4. Such acquired characters are passed from one parental generation to the offspring. This is called as inheritance of acquired characters. 5. The theory of inheritance of acquired characters is not accepted as such transmissions of acquired character does not take place. Only genetic characters are transmitted. B. Darwin (s) theory of natural selection. ANS. 1. Charles Darwin proposed the theory of natural selection after making many observations on different specimens. He published a concept, survival of the fittest. 2. Darwin explains this concept as follows: all organisms reproduce prolifically. Therefore, there is always a competition for food, mate, etc. Only those organisms survive which show the adaptation for sustaining this struggle. 3. Natural selection plays important role by selecting only those organisms which are fit to live. Those that do not have better adaptations, perish. Selected sustaining organisms then perform reproduction and from new species in a very long periods of time. 4. Darwin published his views in the book titled, Origin of Species. C. Embryology. ANS. 1. Embryology is the study of developing embryos. 2. These embryos in their initial stages are very similar to each other. 3. These similarities decrease later in the development. 4. This similarity in initial indicate that these vertebrates have originated from a common ancestor. 5. In evolutionary science, comparative study of embryos of various vertebrates provide evidence for evolution. D. Evolution. ANS. 1. The sequential changes in group of living organisms that take place very gradually is called evolution. 2. Evolution is also described as the formation of new species due to natural selection. 3. The process of evolution takes millions of years for development and speciation of different organisms. 4. Changes in stars and planets in space and the changes in biosphere occurring on the Earth are all included under study of evolution. 5. Due to evolution, organisms become fit, biodiversity is increased, and new species are created. 6. Different scientists have put forth theories to explain the process of evolution. Among these, Charles Darwin (s) theory of natural selection and speciation is accepted worldwide. E. Connecting link. ANS. Some living organisms possess some characters. In them, which are the distinctive features of different groups or phyla.